Okay, so we're now looking at question 2 of chapter 2, page 65. And what we have here is a table that shows the percentages scored by candidates in a test. So this is the mark percentages. And then we have one person that got between 0 and 9% on the test. We got 5 people that got between 10 and 19% on the test. And we got, for example, 36 people getting between a 60 and a 69 on the test. So our first task is to, and then we also have on the right hand side we have the marks less than 9.5%. So that's all that the kind of, so 9.5, that's from the upper boundary of this group and the lower boundary of this group being 9.5, because there's one in between. So we do 9 plus 10 divided by 2, we get an upper boundary of 9.5. Next group we get an upper boundary of 19.5, and so on. So when it says less than 9.5, that means everyone that got 9.5 or lower. So in this case just the one, and this one less than 19.5, that's the 5 here plus the 1 over there. So that should be 6. So then the question for A is calculate the value of S. So S should be then everyone that got 29.5 or lower. So that's this value and lower. And we see that, well, there's 6 people that got 19.5 or lower. That's also what we see here. And then we got 7 more people that got between 20 and 29. So then S should be equal to the cumulative frequency of 19.5 or lower. So that's 6. Plus the 7 from the group 20 to 29. So that gives us 13. Then we have that we're supposed to find T. So that's the one over here. And we see, well, T is everyone from 69.5 and lower. So that's this boundary. Everyone 69.5 or lower. And we could just add up all these and that would give us the correct number. But the easiest way of doing it is taking the 86, because that's the cumulative for this group is 86, which means that all of these are 86. And then we add the 36 additionally. So then we have 86 plus 36. And then we get, what do we get? 122. So that should give us T. Next, we are told to draw the cumulative frequency graph for these data. So what we do then is that we have the group or marks here, and then we have the cumulative frequency. So the result would then be something along the lines of this. So this is me without, sorry if the video stopped, I'm not 100% sure, but this is me without a ruler, so it's not as accurate. But what we see is that the first thing here, so between 0 and 10%, so this should be 10% or just 10, that's this one person, so that's the lowest one here. And then we have 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100%. So then everyone that got less than 10%, that's just the one person. So that would be going up here. And then we're looking at everyone that got less than 19.5 or less than 20, I guess we could, well, 19.5. That would be over here. And then we see, well, that was 6, so that should be approximately here, and that should be correct. And then we can just continue doing that for all of it. So you just take along the x-axis, you do the upper boundaries or the boundaries. That's what we see here. And then on the y-axis, we take the cumulative frequency. So if the cumulative frequency is 43, for example, that's approximately here. And we see that the boundary is 49.5, so that's going down there. So that should be correct. And that you see this tiny red dot there. So for C, we are to use the graph to estimate the median mark. So C, and then I, that's to estimate median mark. So the median would then be, the 50% mark in a sense. So if the cumulative frequency graph goes from 0 to 140, then the median should be approximately 70, because that's in the middle of 140 and 0. So that's moving over here, and then we hit the curve and we go down, and we get approximately, say, 58 or something like that. So the median mark should be approximately 58%. Then we are asked to find the lower quartile. So that should be, well, if 70 was the median, then half of that again should give us the lower quartile, so that's 35. So then we just move over from there, and then we move down, and we get approximately, say, 46. So about 46% correct should give us the lower quartile, or lower 25%. And the 58% should give us the median mark. Then for 3, we are to figure out what is the pass mark. So pass, if 40% of the candidates passed. So 40% passed. So that 40% out of 140, because that was 140. So 40% passed. That means that we take away, or we take 140, we divide that by 100, then we get 1%, because 100% is 140. So 1% is 140 divided by 100, so that should give us 1.4. So then 40% is equal to 1.4 times 40. And that should give us, let's see, $56. So if 56, the top, well, they say if 40% passed. So that means that there's 60 who didn't pass. So then this is the top 56. Which means that we have to find the bottom well, if we take away those top 56, how many didn't pass? So that should be 60%. So we can take away those 40% by doing 140 minus 56, and we get 84. So we then want to figure out what is the value or pass mark for candidate number 84. So then we use the cumulative frequency graph again. Go up to 84. And this, if you did this more accurate than I did, then you would probably get some different values and you should get more correct. 84, we go down. And we got, well, say 64, 65 or something like that. So then according to that, the 84th candidate got approximately 64% correct, or 64%. If you got another number, keep in mind that you might have been more accurate than me.